Hello friends, and welcome back to Swift Lessons for another blues rhythm guitar tutorial. In today's session, I'm going to be talking to you about how to apply approach chords to a standard 12-bar blues. Now this is a technique that involves modulating either a half step down or a half step above a desired chord, and the result is a little bit of tension and excitement throughout the progression. I've got a full PDF study guide to help you with your practice. It's going to include some chord diagrams and also tablatures for the different techniques I'll be showing. Now let's get started with a full demonstration, then I'll break everything down step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with section 1 of this lesson, the basic 12 bar. In this section, we're going to review the basic progression without our approach chords. So it's going to be a 12 bar blues in the key of A, using the chords A7. All right, so I'm barring with my index finger on the D, G, and B strings, 2nd fret. And I'm also grabbing the dominant 7 note, that G, on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Now you can hold this chord in a lot of different ways. Some people like to use the middle finger. I prefer the ring finger, though occasionally I also use my pinky to grab that dominant 7 note. So there it is, that's the A7 chord. All right, then we're going to have the chord D9. This is one of the most flavorful and very useful chords in blues and jazz music, the 9 chord. All right, so this is definitely something everybody needs to get down. We have the 5th fret of the A string, 4th fret of the D string, and then with my ring finger, I'm barring across the G, B, and the high E strings. Put it all together and we have D9. And the other chord shape we're going to be using is just the same shape, up 2 frets. So that is an E9 chord. So there it is, your 1-4-5 progression. A7. D9, and E9. Okay, now let's apply those bluesy chord shapes to our 12 bar. We're going to have the A7 chord for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, then jump to the D9. 1, 2, 3, then back to A7. 2, 3, repeat A7. All right, then we're going to have 2 measures of D9. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Then return back to A7 for 2 measures. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. A measure of E9. 1, 2, 3. D9 for a measure. 1, 2, 3. Then the turnaround section. A7, 2, D9, 2, A7. And then the E9, 2, and the whole thing starts again. Okay, now jumping into section 2, the 12 bar blues, now adding in our approach chords, coming from a half step down or a half step up. All right, a very, very common blues technique. Okay, so the goal for this lesson is to teach you the names of these approach chords and also how they fall into a measure. The basic idea is that on the 4th beat of each measure, we're going to throw in the approach chord and then land on the desired chord like A7, right on the 1. And there's lots of different rhythm variations which we'll get into a little bit here. Okay, taking a look at our first approach chord transition for A7. All right, we're gonna be starting a half step down on A flat 7. Let's count it out. A 1, 2, 3, 4, A7, 2, 3. All right, now we're jumping into the D9 chord. So on that 4th beat there, we're starting on D flat 9, a half step down and getting ourselves up to the D9 chord. Start again. 1, 2, 3, A flat, A7, 2, 3, D flat, and D, 2, 3. All right, now let's go back to the A7 chord, but start a half step above, A sharp, A7. 2, 3. We have another measure of A7, so let's go from below. 2, 3. Back to the D9, the same exact way. 1, 2, 3. We have another measure here, so we can go from above, D sharp now. 2, 3, back to the A7 chord, A sharp, A7. 2, 3, another measure. 2, 3. So I rarely use the same approach chord twice if I have two measures of a given chord. Okay, now it's time for the E9 chord. So let's start from that D sharp and go up to E. Okay, you could also call this E flat. E, 2, 3, use that same approach chord again to get down to the D. 2, 3, and then back to the A7 chord. 1, 2, the turnaround. 2, 2, 2, and the entire progression resets. So there at the end we have the turnaround section. It's moving very fast. We only have 2 beats per chord, so we're not going to use the approach chords there. It'd be very jumbled, very sloppy. So we're just going to hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's take everything we've learned and play through at a slow tempo. I'll be sure to call out the chords. 1, 2, 3, A flat, A7, 2, 3, D flat, D9, 2, 3, A sharp, A7, 2, 3, A flat, and A, 2, 3, D flat, and D, 2, 3, up, D, 3, A sharp, A7, 2, 3, A flat, and A, 2, 3, D sharp, and E, 2, 3, D sharp, and D, 2, 3, A flat, and A, 2, D9, 2, A7, and E9, and resolve. Okay, so now that you've mastered these chord shapes, you have them completely committed to muscle memory, you've got the basic 12 bar down, and you also have that 12 bar blues with the approach chords. Now it's time to start throwing in some rhythmic variations. So one thing that you can do to kind of spice this up a little bit is to fill in the space with simple eighth note strums. This is kind of the first step to making this into a full-fledged technique. So, if you take that first measure, we would have something like this. The A flat going to the A7. A 1, 2, 3, A flat, A7, 2, and 3, end. Down, up, before hitting the next approach chord. D flat, D, down, up, A sharp, A, 2, and 3, and drop. 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, down, up, so on and so forth. Now, another thing that you can try to do is add in a comp. So the comp is just kind of hitting the chords nice and short, squeezing the hand, in a very jazzy kind of fashion. So let's hear what that sounds like. Starting again from that A flat. A 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I won't take you through the whole progression. I think you get the idea. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to start from the approach chord, beat 4. Once you get to beat number 1, go to the A7 for example, and start chopping. 1, 2, 3. Squeezing the hand so that way each of those chords are sounded nice and short. 1, 2, 3. Then it's time for the next approach chord. I'm going to play an open upstroke, then get to the approach chord on the 4th beat, nice and long. Then when I go to the D9 chord, for example, I'll start short again. So it's this mixture of legato and staccato notes that makes this very interesting. Okay, so everything I just explained at full speed. A 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. A little bit slower now. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3. A little bit further. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Just like that. Okay, so practice both of those rhythm techniques, your swinging eighth note strums and your jazzy comped strums. These are fantastic ways to fill in the space and techniques that you can apply to thousands of blues songs and also your own original work. Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this rhythm guitar lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I gotta thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. Hope you're enjoying all your extra resources. I got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.